So there's an area in our garden that we've not been super excited about this year, and today is the day that we tackle it, change it. We've had lots of plans talking about it. We've already tried a little bit of moving. When was that, Lars? When did we move some plants around? Early spring, right?
Early spring, that's right.
Yeah, and it's still not really working. It's this corner up here in the back, right underneath the pergola with the wisteria. That is out of control, by the way. Need to clip that back. But yeah, it's time to take care of this one. And here's Lars to tell us what's happening.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. Anyway, first we need to move. We have actually talked a bit forth and back what to do. We have some delphiniums here that have gone way too tall, and we want to move them a little bit more in. Also because we have some here and Violfrøstierne here that's actually tilted over. We also need to move it and of course collect the seeds and also move that in, because when we sit up here in the back we kind of need a little bit lower ones and some that it's sun now, but it also gets a lot of shade here, so having some that's a little bit lower and can take over some of the other plants when they finish and get a little bit more different plants that will take over and also get some more color up here.
Exactly, definitely some more color, because you can see this time of year, here in September, there's really not much left. We have a dicentra up here that's in a beautiful white.
Yes, the sad things left here.
Yeah,
but still really like focus on some what we put. Also we have some with different foliage that really, even if there's not a flower on it, really have something that can give some pop of color with the foliage. So we definitely want to add some more things up here.
And here in September is a great time. In our zone, we're in about zone 8A. We don't use gardening zones like the US here in Denmark, but we figured out we're around a zone 8A, so September is a great time. The soil is still nice and warm, it's really moist. It's a good time to start moving some things, getting some stuff in before the frost comes. So, shall we get started, Lars, for what's happening?
I think we will do it. We'll start moving the bigger plants first, and then kind of arrange with some other plants we have here, how we're gonna add them and where to put them so they take over of the different ones. So we look at different color, also foliage as well, where to put them. So
all right,
let's start with that.
Let's do it, do it.
Okay, so the first one is up, and here's a beautiful delphinium here. Look at that one, how if you come close, I can come to you too. But look, it's already started sprouting again. And what you can do here, you can actually also, since you have it up now, you can also go ahead and divide it even with a spade or a little shovel, divide it into smaller pieces. Make sure there's some root with it. And this could easily be divided into 4 new plants, and then leave a little bit of the stem, so you know this is like, it's easy to move when it still has this old stem on it, and it can take all the rest of the energy. It's great with these perennials that they die back and then they come again next year. And now it's gonna go and sleep for the winter, so we can really divide it and move it to a little bit over here where it needs some height anyway. So I'll start with taking all the delphiniums in this corner. Okay. See, already now it looks better, but the problem is things has grown into each other, so I definitely have to move these ones. The great thing about doing it also now, I don't have to go and water a lot, because we will actually get a lot of rain the next few days.
Yeah, we've had a really great week of 2 weeks, right? Have we had 2 weeks? Almost 2 weeks of no rain, which for Denmark is, unheard of.
It's funny how we like it.
It makes the newspapers. But it's supposed to rain already tomorrow, so.
So let's do it.
Yeah, so be quick.
So here we actually have some Torskemon also that really self-sow. So it has gone a little bit crazy up here. So those definitely I'm gonna try and move somewhere else. Maybe I have to give some to my neighbors, because we have a lot of this one. I do love it though, because it looks almost like a pine tree, and it has all these great, have it in light pink and also purple over here, but it really quickly gets into a big area, but the bees really love it.
And Torskemon, that means torsk like the fish, like fish mouth?
Yes.
What's it called in English? Is that the toad flax? I'll have to double check.
Yes, it is.
Is it called toad flax?
Linearia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's called fish mouth in Danish and toad flax.
Here
I
you
think.
can
I'll
again
double check.
really see how, like you can even cut a piece off here and do a cutting of this one because it has really nice strong sprouts here of this. So it has a lot of energy. A lot of people also ask me, how can I propagate this one? So you can do by cutting or dividing. So it's a great time now. You can do that. I also collected seeds. There's so many great ways to get more plants, which you love. I make.
You know, I love that we can do this without spending a lot of money. So
Yep.
anytime he says, hey, let's rearrange that back bed, sure. Because I know it won't cost a fortune.
No, right.
Because we've been working on the glass house. But
Here you might wonder why we have sticks, but this is also to keep the taller plants up straight. So we just went to the forest and got some that was already on the ground. That's
well,
great.
except for the bamboo.
Bamboo, we
don't live in
We don't have a
China.
bamboo forest.
No.
So let's get this one up here. I think that's the last one of the delphiniums.
This will make such a big difference. We've talked about this, and this is what we do. We love perennials, so they're really easy to move. That's one of the reasons. And then we really sit and think and decide. I know the garden looks like it all happened just organically and naturally, but there's a lot of thought into making something look chaotic.
And that's the thing with the perennial flower bed. It's ever changing. You know, you have to divide, move stuff around. Some got too tall. But I think that's the great thing about having perennial flower beds. You can still sit back and relax now when you have it established, but there's always something to do out in the garden.
Exactly.
I think. Good, we got that one. We actually have one more, I think, there. Okay, so here we have the very, very tall violfrøstjerner. Look at that. Look how tall. Taller than me. And all these are starting to turn brown. I'm looking for those because those are the seeds. These need cold temperatures to germinate, so I would love to get more of that to have it in a bigger group. Then it also doesn't really fall. And the seeds are there all brown, actually.
Oh,
So I
there's
can't actually collect them now, I hope.
see if I can focus. No.
Top there. And the starting has really, look at the yellow foliage. It's also very nice there.
Autumn is coming.
So this one is great. See, look at that already now, how it changes the dynamic here of the flower bed.
Yeah, it looks a lot better already. Can we just leave it like this? And this one's gotta go.
Yeah. The oregano here, it has really spread though. So also,
My goodness.
sometimes be aware of things that spread too wild. Maybe have it somewhere else.
I mean, it is September,
Yeah.
so a lot of things have really gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
But, oh, Lars, that looks way better.
But that's also the thing when you plant this close. It's great. We don't have to weed a lot, but it needs that we really have to go in and check it more often. There was even a dagprakstjerne here. That's not a good spot for that either.
No, we have so many of those.
Go.
Are we keeping it?
Maybe. Okay, so we got some of the Toscamon more the purple away. We had a big group. But also when you come down here to the base, you can really see like Agalaya has self-sowed really crazy. So we do need to remove some of those because we have a bunch. We have some Monroe here that's fighting for its life. So we do need to move some of this one.
In the meantime, we've cut the dicentra down,
yes.
moved a few more things. So yeah,
Okay, so one plant that I really love here in late autumn or early autumn is this Rudbeckia here. Gives a bunch of color flowers for months here. So we do want to have it that it spreads more. So I'm actually going to move it a bit more in. I have a clump here and a little bit over there. So I really want to move this before it gets really rainy next week. That saves me from watering too much.
and moving it, by the way, is just as easy as digging it up and putting it in a hole.
Ta-da!
There's no magic five
And
steps
if it
to
would be
moving a
super,
plant.
no. But if it would be the period where it's super dry, dig the hole and then add some water down in the hole, and then the first few days keep an eye on that if it needs some watering. There it goes already. We have some syllis here that will be really nice too. Eventually it's not established so much yet, but has black foliage and will have white flowers here as well. So I think we can start placing around what we want.
I think so. One little quick story about the ferns. They're some of the first things that we planted in the garden. Lars got them from a colleague of his when he was still a kindergarten teacher. She was moving house, right? And then we got all these, yeah.
Yes.
And she said, come and dig up whatever you want. It is a really shady spot. Not so much now that we've opened up the pergola. Back then it was a roof, long story short. So yeah, really nice.
But it's really, it works well. And we have a few big stones, which you can't really see now, but that was here in the house too. We didn't want to move, so we just placed it there. And it's
Didn't want to move. Let's show how big they are. We physically couldn't move them.
Okay.
They're massive.
There we go.
Look how big they were. They were just hidden in the garden.
Yeah, there we go.
These massive, massive stones.
So they are really like,
yeah.
and they give some.
So we decided,
character.
you know what? We're not going to pick them up.
No.
All right, it's time to plant. Show us what we're working with, please.
We have some skilla here, Japan skilla. Moneymaker, this one. Really beautiful in this purple color. That flowers now here late and gets these little mini swords here, foliage. So also we're thinking about also foliage color. This is Japan skovgræs that really turns beautiful now. We have some Anemone in white here. So we also, of course, have to look into height as well before we set them. We have some more Japan skilla, but in with a white one coming. We have some skov asters with this beautiful
that's nice.
color here. We have some hønsebær. Look at this one too. Will also be very pretty.
Nice.
And the last one is fjerbusk. And it's finished now, so when I plant it, we will cut this back a little bit because it's so it focuses on producing roots instead of keeping that flower.
Maybe shouldn't have saved that one for the last. That's kind of disappointing.
No, but eventually imagine also the foliage, but also here this will turn like autumn colors, so that'll be really pretty. So let's start with that. That has to be, I'm thinking in the back here, like kind of this size here. We put some together, and what we do, about a hand, depending on the plant, how fast it spreads, but around a hand with distance. In this little small area here, we still want to have it planted very quickly that it will take over. So here it's really less soil is better because the more soil, the more you have to do weeding, and we don't want that.
Exactly. Just to give you an idea, he's removed how many plants from here, Lars? 12, 14 from this tiny little area. So we do plant really close together. If you read on the box, it'll probably say way more than a hand width apart, but
let's play around. So of course we come there where Alan is standing. The path is there, so the lower ones will be there, and we're gonna have, I think also and you can also repeat some of your things if you have a flower bed, if you want one here, because then by time it will also get bigger, or you could put it together. But repeating it is also really nice in a flower bed, that you'll have the same kind and you'll spread the flowering but also the foliage into different ones. So we will have to play a little bit around. If we put it together, we can always plant it together now and then later divide it, or further down somewhere a little bit half shady there too.
Exactly.
But already now with this foliage, it's really pretty.
Yeah, let me put this down and give you a hand.
Okay. So look at this one. This has really, the hønsebær has really lots of roots here, so it's really ready to come out of the pot. If you have pots that you can see it's really gone around the pot, you can really gently loosen it a little bit so it doesn't keep on producing the roots once it's in the ground in that way as well. So loosen it up a little bit so that you really get them to really grow out on all sides, and that'll make a much stronger plant as well. Okay, so I have the last one going in, and already now looks really great, I think.
So much better.
Right?
There's actually dirt in our garden.
You're
I
surprised,
had
right?
no idea.
Right? Getting this last beautiful in here. There we go. That looks so much better. So we do Now we actually want it to rain the next few days, so
Yeah,
this
but I
can really
feel
settle
like we're
in.
going to need to water. It was pretty dry.
Yeah.
So-
But normally now here September, October is a great time to divide and also just move these, what we just did now. So, and these ones won't get, they will be reused at other places in the garden, even though we don't have a lot of spots left. But it's a great time to see what needs to be thinned out further back and then make space for some new things.
That's a good idea. Since this is looking way better, how about we do get these delphiniums in and then we go and have a coffee.
Good idea.
Okay, so we found new homes
Yes.
for those plants, and now it's time to go in, and then we'll cut them back a little bit so they don't have to spend so much energy trying to keep their foliage alive. They can focus more on getting those roots established before frost, which will be November. Last year we didn't have our first frost until November, so we're in really good time.
But can you see, can you imagine? So the Toscamon here, the Violfrostiana here, and then we have the Delphinium Ridderspor here in a big group and just get tall here and can do whatever you want here. That's going to be just great.
Exactly, much better than where they were,
Yeah.
right there, blocking our view of our evening dinner table.
Okay, so let's finish up and
And then we'll head on inside. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please drop them in. We really do love hearing from you, and we do our very best to reply because it's our favorite part of being on YouTube. So thank you guys for taking your time and commenting and watching with us.
Thank you so much. Moin!